All right, hi. So I'm going to teach you how to do an integrated hem. I have an example here, just a second. So this is a pattern of mine. It's in testing at the moment, but you can see it's got this nice contrasting hem, and there's no seaming. It's all just there. I didn't have to go back afterwards and seam, and there's not a big thick line here, which is nice. So let's see. You're going to want to start with a provisional cast on. There are a ton of ways to do this. I like to use the crochet chain. I don't know why, it's just easy. And if you do the crochet chain cast on right, you can actually just unzip all the stitches and voila, they're free. I inevitably do it wrong, so you probably shouldn't do it the way I'm doing it right now. But even if you do it wrong, it's not that hard to get the stitches, so let's see. And a provisional cast on, if you don't know, is a cast on that you later take out and you're left with a bunch of live stitches, which means you can just knit right off those stitches. If you need help doing a provisional cast on or a crochet chain, I recommend looking up videos on YouTube because I guarantee there's probably 1,000. Okay, so this white is going to be our hem color. I've got the stitches cast on. Now I'm going to knit a couple rows, and we will just fast forward into the future here so you don't have to watch me knit the rows. Okay, now we're in the future, and as you can see, I've knitted the hem. You can pretty much make the hem as wide or as thin as you want. I wouldn't make it more than a couple or less than a couple rows because it'll be hard to see what you're doing, but you can make it very wide if you want. So I'm going to break this yarn, and then we're going to take this yarn, which would be the main body color. So in this example, that would be the gray. And what I'm going to do is make a little turning row. You can see how there's kind of a little ridge here. That's a purl ridge. It will just, since stockinette curls, it makes the hem want to fold under. You don't really have to have it, but it's nice, and it tends to keep the inside color from sneaking out. So first we're going to work just a plain knit row with the second color. If you don't do this, then when you do the purl row, or the purl ridge row, you're actually going to knit it when you're working flat. It will be two colors, and it will show your background color, or not your background color, your hem color, and you don't want that. So I'm going to knit one row with it. Then I want a purl ridge on the front, so since I'm working flat, that just means I'm going to knit. You can see here how this is two colors. That would be what was visible on your hat, and you don't want that. Now if you were working this in the round, this would just mean you did a whole round of purl stitches. But we are not working this in the round, so. Alright, and now after that you're going to work about the same number of stitches in this color as you did in this color. This color as you did in this color. It might not be exact, but what you want is to be able to fold it over and have the stitches on the needle be right up next to these provisional cast on stitches. So we're going to do another time warp while I knit a couple rows here. Alright, so now you can see we have the main body stitches knit. I didn't count the rows, I'm just kind of eyeballing it because when I fold it up like this, the two ends want to be right next to each other, and that's what we want. I know it looks like there's more green, but that's just because of the purl ridge and the row underneath. So the next step, we need to get these stitches off of this provisional cast on and onto this handy spare double-pointed needle. So let's see, if I get really lucky, they might just unzip for me with no question, but that almost never happens for me. So. Alright, so now you've got stitches on your needle and stitches on your little holder there. You're going to fold them up together, and you'll notice 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Whoa, what happened? You're actually picking up the back end of the stitches on this side, and there's always going to be a different number. It's usually only one off, so it's fine. And if it's in the round, it actually, I think in the round it actually works out perfectly. But when it's flat, it can be one off like that, and that's fine. We'll just fudge it. So you've got your main yarn, and if you've ever done a 3-needle bind off, this is a lot like that, except that you're not going to bind off. So hold your yarn to the back, get in under the first yarn. Oh, I picked up the stitches backwards, so I'm going to knit those ones. Oh no, I didn't. Never mind. Huh. Get in under that one. But you do want to watch out for that. It's really easy to pick the stitches up backwards, and then you just have to flip them around or knit them through the back loop to make it work. And off. So in the one on the first needle, in the one on the second needle, wrap the yarn and pull it through both of them. And voila, one stitch. So you do that for all of them. Like I said, in the round, you should have the same number of stitches. If you don't, we're just gonna fake it and ignore the last one. The last stitch on the needle will be lonely, but that's fine. If you're working flat, you probably have to seam at the edges anyway, so. If you were really, really worried about it, you could pick up this stitch and then just kind of pick up a stitch on the edge of the white there. I'm not really worried about it, so I'm just going to knit the stitch. And there you have it. You have your green piece on the back. You have a white hem. And it looks very lovely. You don't have an edge that rolls or does anything else funny like that. It will stay nice and smooth. Hooray!